My wife's sister has zero boundaries and it's driving me crazy. We have tried everything. How can we get her to respect boundaries? Good morning, myself 24F and my wife 27F have been married for 4 years but together for 7. Her sister is 23 years old. She was the baby growing up and ran the house. She's always had absolutely no boundaries with my wife since we moved in together. She tries to FaceTime her a million times a day, all hours of the night. If my wife doesn't answer, she will come to our house and knock till someone answers. We adopted our daughter, 4 months old, recently. In the past 4 months she has really kicked it up a notch. Though she seems uninterested in our baby, we have told her she cannot knock on the door after 8 p.m. because the dogs will go crazy and wake our baby. She's completely ignored this. My wife FaceTimes her at least twice a day and plans an outing at least twice a week. She is welcome over a few afternoons a week. I think this is a fair amount of attention, just not enough for her. She ends up knocking on the door at least once a night. It's ruining our sex life, to be frank. This morning was the breaking point for me. I'm in the kitchen half naked fixing a bottle for our baby at 4 a.m. Yes, 4 a.m. She barges right in the front door and I lost it on her. I don't know how the heck she got in the house. She says we told her the passcode, but that's definitely not true. I then of course lost it on my wife. I feel bad for that because I know she's done everything she can to set boundaries. I'm so sick of feeling like I can't be comfortable in my own home because at any moment her sister will show up. She works the night shift and only 3 days a week, so she has plenty of time. Besides setting boundaries, putting her phone on silent, setting extra time for her, what else can we do? Question mark. You need to find out how she got in your house. You also need to put a deadbolt on your door or some sort of lock so that if you are inside then she can't get in. For the next 2 weeks the sister is banned entirely from your house. No dinners, no visits. Tell her next time she comes in without your express permission you will physically remove her and call the police. It's not safe. One day you might have a break-in and assume it's your sister-in-law. It's utter BS she's doing this and your wife isn't setting boundaries at all. This is your home. Put your foot down. 4 a.m. is absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe any adult being so utterly indulged that they would let themselves into someone else's house at 4 a.m. You need to set boundaries with her and with your wife. Make this your hill to die on. Also, a 4-month-old can be fed back to sleep, but this will stop as your child gets older. It's imperative you sort this out immediately. She says she knew the passcode. I'm assuming she watched my wife put it in, but we change it all the time for this reason. You're 100% right about adding an additional lock. Embarrassed smiley face. I also think my wife is pretty much done. She too lost it on her sister and then called her parents who her sister lives with. They consistently pull the she's your little sister and she's just hurting because you aren't spending as much time with her. I don't want to force my wife into not seeing her, but this is my breaking point. I agree there needs to be some repercussion. Hopefully we can sort this out when my wife gets home from work tonight. When she knocks on the door, your wife needs to tell her that, as discussed, it's not a good time and then shut the door on her. Repeat as necessary. Video calls need to be no more than once a day and the sister needs to be told that not answering means she is busy. If she's too busy to answer the phone, she's too busy for her to come over. Use the Do Not Disturb feature on your phones at night. Change the passcode and locks on your house. A sister needs to find a boyfriend, or any friend for that matter, to occupy her. Have you considered moving to another state? We have for sure talked about moving to a different area of California that's hours away. We are going to try the route of a brief no contact period followed by regular consequences. And if it keeps up we very well may move. Spray her with water from a spray bottle. No, bad sister, go home. She needs some repercussions. Your wife has to start removing attention and privileges. Showing up unannounced. Don't even open the door, just call her cell and tell her this isn't appropriate. Then your wife needs to cancel their plans that week. If this doesn't help then your wife needs to go to counseling, ideally with her sister, and rein this in or risk going no contact. You keep saying you set boundaries. You did a good job of laying them out to us. If you did a good job to her and she doesn't follow them, then you need to implement consequences. You get 2 outings a week with your sister. If you come over after 8 p.m. or before 9 a.m. you lose 1 outing. Your wife needs to silence her phone for sure. Boundaries, the book might be helpful if you haven't already. Best of luck. After 35 years, my anger issues have destroyed my marriage. I don't know where to go or what to do. Totally my fault. I experienced severe trauma as a child, beatings, dad told me I was a mistake and he didn't want me, boo-hoo. Anyways, I coped with a messed up family. When I was 35 all my coping rituals failed. I slowly developed deep depression, then anxiety, bipolar, and especially tons of triggers for my severe PTSD. I don't blame my mental illness. My wife coped with my anger for the last 20 years. She has some real issues with me. I never try to justify my anger by saying it is a mental issue. She's angry and I get it. I have been with a psychiatrist for 10 years. She's a unicorn talk therapy. I tried going back to a friend, dates, dinners, walks, getting us into relationship counseling. She quit. And yes, I took love making off the table a long time ago, not boo-hoo. She super isn't into it anymore. I get it. Though at this point, all I can think of is going to anger management, upping my mood stabilizers and depression, done by psych already, and trying super hard to be a friend. I grieve for what I have done. Most of all, I don't think this is fixable. No golden years for us. She wants to stay together in an empty marriage. I eat alone. I go to bed alone. I wake up alone. I'm never sought out. Perhaps folks here can tell me if I should be in the anger management threads. I really need help. They say if you love it, set it free. If it was yours, it will come back to you. If it doesn't, it never was, and part of being a healthy adult is not taking hostages. The talk therapy isn't working if it's been 10 years and you're not feeling better. Get a new counselor. Somebody else suggested this and I'm going to double down on it. There's a stack of new, far more effective therapies out there. EDMR for the trauma, CBT, DBT, and ACT for your unhelpful thinking patterns and your behavior. I don't know if you can fix your marriage, but you can fix yourself. You can overcome your anger issues. Start by getting a counselor who specializes in EDMR and go from there. Toning down the PTSD triggers is a really good start. If you love your wife, let her go. 20 years is a long time to be a target of someone's anger. She has enough trauma to last a lifetime. Time to set her free. I can't believe there are still people thinking a marriage is worth something in that situation. Husband paying for cam girls. We were friends for years, dated for a decade, and then eventually got married. After all that time I, 34F, thought I really knew him, 35M, and blindly trusted him. One thing to note is we have separate bank accounts. About 2 months ago he was panicked and asked for money. He said his account was overdrawn because he paid a few things too early. I sent him some money and didn't think more about it. And I grabbed the mail a few days later. I always open and shred our mail. I happened to look at his bank account and saw a bunch of charges for something I didn't recognize. Given there were so many charges for around $100 and $50, I was curious what it was and googled it. It immediately took me to a cam girl site. With my hands shaking out of shock and disappointment, I started adding up how much he spent. Between his bank account and credit cards, it was about $600. I confronted him and he acknowledged it. He said he got in over his head and was glad I caught him. We had a long talk and I told him I saw this a form of cheating and that if we weren't married, I would have left. I told him it was going to be really hard to trust him. He said he understood. We were working on moving forward again, or at least I thought we were. A few days ago, I go to check to the mail and guess what I find? Yep, More charges for cam girls. This time it was just $150. Or at least only in the one account that sent a summary. I confronted him again and he claims he thought if it wasn't from money he was contributing towards our bills, it was fine. I told him we talked last time about how I feel like this is a form of cheating. He just doubled down and said he misunderstood and thought it was okay. We're not talking now while I struggle to process this and try to think about what I want. How do I trust him again at all? Is it worth trying anymore? I certainly have my own faults. Everyone does, but I have always been loyal. Fiercely loyal. I'm so hurt. I feel like a doormat if I just keep forgiving him and moving on. What if he does this again? Any advice and / comments are welcomed and appreciated. Too long didn't read. Husband caught spending $600 on cam girls and was confronted about it. I told him it felt like cheating. He was caught again this week paying $150 for cam girls. Updated note. Wow. I'm humbled and a little overwhelmed by the number of responses. So sorry to hear others have also experienced something similar. My heart goes out to you. I have been reading every comment and I truly appreciate everyone taking a moment to reply. It's so helpful to hear different views and opinions on this. It shows this really isn't a crystal clear situation to be in and becomes even more jumbled when emotions come into play. And man, are there emotions in this. I really respect marriage. Perhaps that's part of why this hurts so much. My parents have been married 40+ years. I have seen that a relationship can work long term if it has mutual respect and admiration. I have longed for that type of partnership and I am not receiving it right now. I still don't know what this means for us and don't want to make a rash decision either way. Most people would consider paying for a cam girl to be a huge breach of trust. I can't say what you have discussed in your relationship previously as cheating, but my partner and I definitely have talked about interacting online with someone as cheating. Porn is one thing. This is a whole other level. So, even giving him a huge benefit of the doubt that he is really that dense and didn't think there was anything wrong with paying for an online AP, which I am very reluctant to do, he was also financially irresponsible to the point of overdrawing his account. Huge yikes. I don't know what your financial goals are, but that would be a big issue for me. The second round of issues. He says he was glad he was caught. So he knew it was wrong. Kinda pokes holes in him not realizing it was a betrayal. Then he disregards your feelings on the matter, the pain he's caused you, and the fact you've said you are considering leaving him over this, and goes right back to his crap. This situation is at most a second chance situation, which you graciously gave him. He has gone right back to cheating, after being made fully aware of how it makes you feel and the consequences of his choices. It looks like he doesn't care about how you feel, and he's possibly addicted to paying those cam girls, which would add another layer of shit that isn't yours to clean up. You do not need this. You do not need a cheater as a partner, who will borrow money from you to pay for his affair. You do not need someone who uses you with no regard for how it hurts you. He has shown a complete unwillingness to change. He has demonstrated that he will lie to you, he will twist the situation to fit his narrative. He is untrustworthy. He has proven himself in quite a few ways here how terrible he will be for you as a life partner. You do not need to drag around this baggage. Personally, I'd leave. Did you want to date for a decade or did he take a long time to propose? He took a long time to propose. We had been living together for the whole time we dated. He didn't misunderstand, he just doesn't care. He knowingly crossed your line for monogamy. Again, he can't be trusted. Yay. His explanation on getting caught the second time was weak. Either, 1, he's lying and too stupid to go paperless, or 2, he's being honest and he didn't pay attention when you told him you'd leave him if you weren't married. So he's either a liar or he doesn't give enough of a crap about how you feel to listen to how you respond when he's messed up. If you don't have kids, I'd bail so hard. I can't believe he borrowed $600 from you to pay for cam girls. What a massive %, and thank you for your comment. I've honestly been beating myself up over this, wondering what I did. Was I not clear enough? I don't see how I would leave if we weren't married isn't clear. Also, no, we do not have kids.